Dear friends, Happy New Year. May God bless you and keep you throughout this year in all the things you do. I want to open up this year with a question, a crucial question that we have to ask ourselves. Are you resting? Is your heart at rest? Is your mind at ease? Rest is something that is so hard to find this day and age. A lot of people are struggling to sleep at night or even throughout the night. And people have hard time just resting. I know people take vacations. They go off to some place where they can actually play, eat, and just sleep. But the real question that we ought to be asking ourselves is, am I really, really resting? Is my soul resting? Is my spirit resting? Am I at peace? Is my heart quiet? Or is it just bothered by so many things that's happening around us? You see, our surrounding environment is not getting any better. As you see, there's war breaking out, and it's becoming more and more severe in the Middle East. Russia-Ukraine war is getting prolonged. And there's new situations developing between China and Taiwan. And as soon as year 2024 began, North Korea is firing their missiles 3 days in a row. Hundreds and hundreds of rounds being fired. The world is very unstable. On January 1st, around 4 p.m., an earthquake magnitude of 7.6 hits northeastern part of Japan, which is Ishikawa Prefecture. A lot of people died, and still hundreds are still buried in the ground. You see, the world is very unstable. So many things are happening politically, economically, militarily, not just that, but environmentally. And in this kind of world that we live in, where do we find peace? What do we do to be able to sleep at night? What do we do to have peace in our hearts? What can we do to set our mind and spirit at ease? The Bible actually says something about this. Let me read this for you. Psalm 131. I think this is a good place to start this year. It says, "My heart is not proud, O Lord. My eyes are not haughty. I do not concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me." In other words, you see, I'm going to have the right perspective of life. You see, there's so many things that I cannot control. And there's probably more things that I don't even understand why certain things are happening, why there's sufferings in this world, why this warfare is going on, and how it's going to end, how my future is going to be, and how the world is how the world's going to be in year 2024. There's so many things that are unknown. There's so many things that we cannot even fathom to understand. And David, the author of this psalm, he's saying, I'm not even going to pretend to understand these things. He says, I do not concern myself with great matters or things too wonderful for me. In other words, you know what? There's so many things I do not understand in this world. There's so many things that's just I cannot control. But you know, I can trust in God. Our God is a good God. Our God is a sovereign God. And our God will only bring good things out of all these things ultimately. And that's how I find my rest. You see, there's so many things that's out of our control, that's outside of us. And that's something that there's so many things that we just simply cannot understand. And there's so many things in this world, so many events that's happening in my life just simply do not make sense. But David is actually suggesting to us, don't try to make sense out of these things. Why? You would not understand. But just trust in God, because God is in control, and our God is good God, and our God will only make good things to come out of all these things that's going on. Just trust in him. Furthermore, David goes on saying, but I have stilled and quieted my soul like a weaned child with its mother. Like a weaned child is my soul within me. In other words, you know what? I am going to be like a baby in the arms of God. You see, an infant doesn't have the master plan of his life. The little baby, a little baby doesn't have an agenda about his life. You know, by a certain age, I'm going to get married. By a certain age, I'm going to get a job. An infant doesn't know anything about that. An infant baby doesn't worry about the living expenses, tuition, or business, or how he's going to survive. An infant only worries about one thing: is my mother around? As long as this baby is in the mother's arms, the baby just simply trusts the mother. Mom's going to provide everything. Mom is going to know my needs, and mom is going to fulfill everything that I need. The baby just simply trusts the mom. And David is saying this, you know what? I'm not going to have my agendas or master plan or some kind of preconceived notion of how my life is supposed to go. You know what? I'm going to let go of all these things. I'm just going to simply trust in God, because God will provide all my needs. He's going to fulfill all my needs. And he knows exactly where he's taking me. I'm under his protection. He's guarding me. I'm under the shadow of the wings of God. And he goes on saying, he finishes by saying, O Israel, put your hope in the Lord, both now and forever. Put your hope. This is a living hope. God will not forsake us. God will never leave us. In book of Isaiah, God says to Israelites, you know what? Even if your mother leaves you, I will never abandon you. You know, human mother, for some reason, may leave a child or abandon a child. But God is saying, you know what? That will never happen with me. I'll never leave you. I'll never forsake you. And that's the living hope that we have. He says, I will be with you all the time until the end of the age. Hope in the Lord. Hope in the Lord. You see, have the right perspective. Let go of all your plans in the arms of God, and just hope in the Lord by trusting in him. Only then you'll be able to find peace that the world cannot offer you.